Soul-stealing magi.
Flesh-eating creeps.
Yeah, it's just another day at the office for the madhouse. My werewolf partner and I attempt to keep the peace, without being torn to pieces. Weep at the wonder,
Howl at the horror.
and keep the light on. It's gonna get dark. This is the 100-Handed.
Lost souls. Episode 20, you break it, you buy it.
Who do you think you are, V?
The daughter of a psychopath.
Who are you?
I'm Veronica Gage.
More.
I grew up in a foster home. You abandoned me at a young age. I didn't get along with others in school. Got into a lot of fights. Girls mocked me and boys feared me.
Is that so? More.
I grew up most of my life not knowing who you were until I'd established myself as a high school English teacher. I loved the classics. I have had a life, a good life, before I received a letter from you. You invited me to your home, if you can call it that.
Keep going.
I don't know. You did something to me, changed me, turned me into a werewolf freak. Look at me. This is what you turned me into.
Whoever you work with in the madhouse did that to you. I designed a splendid model, and they turned you into a hack job. You're wrong, by the way.
Wrong?
Your past, your memories. You're wrong. I didn't turn you into anything other than what you already were. Let me set the record straight. I could even put you back together. Without the fur, the claws. I could change you into what you want to be. Let me do that for you, Veronica. Let me make it up to you.
Every word that comes out of your mouth is a lie.
I assure you that I'm telling you the truth. You're clever, smart, strong. Your partner, I presume?
I'd bet all the sand in the South Pole. Why would you do any of that for me?
Because, Veronica, you belong to me. Not traipsing around with such dullards like the madhouse. I was a bad mother, I admit. I left you to them. Hell, I thought they killed you. That's what they do to creeps, you know?
I know.
But here you are. In the flesh.
You've been kidnapping creeps from the hill country and the dim. Why? No. More bullshit. Tell me what I want to know.
Veronica, you wouldn't understand.
Make me understand.
Just then, Wexler staggered into the lab. He was covered in gore, a fresh wound on the right side of his face. A blade of shimmering liquid energy I'd never seen him use before emanated from the tattoos on his arm. It rippled, glittered, like hoarfrost on steel.
V, my cover's blown. These creatures.
The carved.
Whatever. There's too many of them. More are coming.
So you've hitched your wagon to the very man responsible for your disfigurement.
You lie.
V!
I would have rather been fed feet first into one of Catherine's meat processors than take my eyes off her. But the distress in Wexler's voice tugged my attention away. Catherine was fast, faster than she seemingly had any right to be. She slammed her palm onto the console, puncturing it on one of the obsidian black crystals.
What are you doing?
Giving you a choice. Come with me and find the answers you seek, or stay with him and be torn to pieces.
I like the third option. Tear your face off and save my partner.
I'm calling the day shift in for a little overtime. You think you can just kill me? You'd be an absolute fool to think I don't have several regenerative agents coursing through my blood as we speak. That's right. Waste time staring. Your idiot partner will be as brainless as his mentor is mindless.
His mentor? What do you know about Michael Washington?
Au revoir, dear daughter.
The chains binding the carved snapped. They began shuffling towards me, towards Wexler, already embattled with 5 of the disgusting creatures. Several of the newcomers shambled past Catherine, and she was lost among the writhing horde. Tears of frustration came to my eyes. So close, so close!
Die! Die!
V, are you okay? Where's Catherine?
She got away. I let the bitch get away.
Don't blame yourself. There's so many of these goddamn things. Can't put all that on you.
I don't know how we're going to get out of this. There's so many of them, they can't even fit through the doorway. Catherine used some sort of panic button.
I'd used my body move tattoo to take advantage of all the corpses, but I had to burn it her way to escape. Covering while I reload.
I picked up one of the carved by the throat and hurled it into the others. Just like bowling pins.
It's no use. There's just too many.
Better put that blade to work.
You don't have to tell me twice.
I snatched one of the carved in both of my claws. Fur was sprouting along my other arm, canines beginning to grow painfully in my head. I pressed the carved's head, so angular and misshapen, between my palms and squeezed.
Let go of me! Wexler, I'm getting overwhelmed!
My claws tore the sour flesh from their bones, but an avalanche of flailing limbs crashed down on me, burying me. I snapped my teeth, ripping the throat out of one of the carved before 2 more took its place. Several carved had grabbed Wexler and pulled him down. They opened their drooling maws, the stitches that had sewn their mouths shut snapping like fishing line after a long battle with a lunker. Their jagged teeth reminded me of the A-bombs in Llewellyn's barn. This was it. We were finished. I should have broken Catherine's neck. Even if it didn't kill her, I could have died happy. Yeah, that's life.
Did somebody call for a... Whoa! Holy shit, that's a lot of creeps!
Is that Lily Thomas?
The one and only, new and improved. Check this out.
I watched as drafted Thomas stepped over rubble, through a hole she'd made in the wall. She raised her hand, covered in more Imagomantic tattoos than I thought possible. Then I realized it was one massive tattoo covering her entire body. The full body tattoo glowed with an energy that pulsed from white to blue to white again. Orbs of light danced on her fingertips. And a blinding blast roared through the lab, hurling Thomas backward. And blowing the carved off of me and Wexler.
V, come on, get up.
Thanks, Wexler. Is she okay?
I'm okay. I think.
I don't even want to know what Solomon's been up to. Let's get out of here before the carved gather their bearings.
Don't worry, I can tell.
Stop. You're going to... Care to explain what the fuck you just did, Lily?
Saved your ass from the looks of it. Is she all right?
I'm fine. She saved us, Wexler. We did Vincula's dirty work. What now?
I was also hoping for some intel on what the 100-handed were up to with all this.
She got away.
I suppose Vincula can't have it all. Still, I'm not terribly thrilled with the outcome. Thank you, Lily. I don't mean to sound so stiff. We learned some things in the dim.
Anything about Michael?
Vincula promised us information, or at least insinuated it.
And you just took that thing at its word?
We had Jack and his buddy shit, as far as leads were concerned. But no, I wasn't doing it out of the goodness of my own heart. My hope was that Vincula's information on Michael was somehow gleaned from an interaction between Vincula's sources and Catherine's goons. It feels like the earth is shifting. I don't know what to do.
They won't find us out here, will they?
Doubtful. From what I can see, they're pretty distracted. Maybe the cops will search these woods later, but for now, I think they'll be preoccupied. Wait a second. They aren't putting out the fire. Oh, fuck.
They're on the payroll.
Catherine's.
Possibly the 100-handeds as well. They covered their tracks. Horatio, North Carolina, Catherine here. Whoever she's working with has done a good job of keeping their hands out of this mess.
It's one of those creatures.
Yes, the carved. Must have wandered out after us.
Then we should go. If that crew is crooked, then they're gonna find this thing.
Good point. The carved don't seem particularly clever. It probably left a painfully obvious trail right to us.
See, my mother gave me one of those Bond villain speeches.
It's like they can't help themselves sometimes.
Exactly. I'm convinced narcissism and dark magic are practically kissing cousins at this point. Which got me thinking. Catherine created the bomb back at Llewellyn's, right?
It's starting to look that way.
And Catherine modeled these carved on that research, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's she doing? Oh my god!
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is our key.
It's just gibbering. And you said you tore the head off this thing. How long ago?
Almost an hour?
We're hope and joy preoccupied. This isn't quite what I'm used to.
The Magi had their own cleanup crew. Real professional from the looks of it. There wouldn't have been anything left.
It just keeps creaking like that. But we can't understand it at all.
Vibration of the vocal cords. No lungs. I have an idea. Lily. Cleaver.
Cleaver.
Thank you.
Nobody else has any thoughts on the fact we just watched a being from the beyond chop a zombie's head in half? Just me? Okay, cool.
I suspected as much.
A receptacle.
These things looked mindless. You're saying there was a psyche in them?
If I had to guess, whatever psychomancer Catherine was working with imbued this receptacle with a set of commands, essentially keeping the carved from going off the rails like Hugh Gunderson.
They only seemed mindless because they were so simple. But they were really just obeying programming. Horrifying stuff.
How's this going to get us any closer?
I could take the time to analyze this, but tracing a creep's origin back to their magi creator isn't my forte.
You can't just magic something up?
If I could just magic something up, do you think I'd boil down monster parts so that I could make ink that I then use to inscribe volatile tattoos, all of which harness vast amounts of cosmic energy onto the laughably frail bodies of mortals.
I don't feel like I understood what you just said, but I feel like I understand why you said it.
All I'm trying to say is that there's a reason the Gloom Watcher and the Palimpsest do what they do to seek out violations of the Pact. Past that,
There's been an uptick in pact violations. Now, I always caution against coming up with a pet theory and working backwards to prove it. But if I were a Magi organization like the Hundred Handed that was already under the gun for violating the pact, then I'd go hell for leather on breaking the pact as many times as possible in as many places.
Because whatever means the Gloom Watcher uses to pinpoint violations will be muddled. Son of a bitch. They're no longer trying to conceal their violations of the Pact. They're using violations of the Pact to conceal whatever it is they're really up to.
Whatever that is, it sounds like bad news. Solomon, is there any way you can speed this process up?
it took me 6 months, an entire town's worth of souls to craft a new means by which to pull drafted Thomas out of her catadonia. We don't have the parts on hand. Perhaps I could have done something if we recovered the Queensberry beef plant. But the destruction of the creeps mean that I will have to be rather painstaking. I'm afraid I can't analyze this in a timely manner.
No. But I think we know someone who can. This is a receptacle, which means it houses a psyche, right?
Sure.
If there's one thing we know about minds, they dream, and...
Nightmares?
Right. Vincula should be able to extract information from this psyche's nightmares. I'm sure it's had plenty. Come on, V. We'll take this shard back to the dim to discover the identity of who your mother has been working with, and what they're up to.
Unholy smokes. It'll be good to see Mason again.
You just enjoy the novelty of a stoner made out of stone.
Something I never thought I'd see. Did you even take a look at his smoke shop? So many enchanted curios. I swear to God, there was a bong that looked like it was self-lighting.
Oh, don't even get me started on that shit.
I don't know. I think it's cool. If it rips, it rips. You see it too, don't you?
Yeah. About 25 meters out, the light flickered erratically in the shop window of Unholy Smokes. My Imagomancer's training kicked in. 3 tattoos. Inkblade, effective against organic enemies. Slabskin, hardens the skin, good at preventing damage to my body, and has saved my ass plenty of times. Spellshield, a staple of magical defense.
Ready when you are.
I nodded, gesturing for her to move forward with me. Glass crunched underfoot. There was no way whoever had broken into Unholy Smokes would miss us. V's form had yielded to the wolf in her, forcing her into a stoop as though she were always hunching to avoid an invisible ceiling. Tufts of fur sprouted from the ends of her long sleeves, like straw from sleeves of a scarecrow. Our voices had no doubt been carrying, and a shadow shifted inside the smoke shop. Then I saw him.
Mason?
Lying in a ruined heap of rubble was Mason Crackclaw, the proprietor of Unholy Smokes. Gargoyle and friend. Most of his body had been devastated. Only his head remained, with his lower jaw broken off. His eyes flickered up at me, then away. Up at me, and then away. I realized too late that, without his mouth, he was trying to signal an ambush. V, look out! The hooded attacker moved faster than I could call out. He barreled into V, smashing her up against a display case and sending paraphernalia scattering to the floor. I advanced on the attacker's flank. He lashed out with an Imagomantic Inkblade. I channeled the Spellshield at the last instant, deflecting the Inkblade right before it took off my arm. Imagomantic energy. How? Who are you? The attacker didn't pause to answer, instead swinging his arm, the one channeling the Inkblade, around to slash at V. She didn't wait. She drove her claws into his forearm, straining to keep him from bringing the Inkblade right into her throat. Our foe's Inkblade rippled underneath the hardened surface, so sharp that it sheared the fur on her throat, edging closer, closer. I fired 3 rounds into the back of the attacker's leg, at the knee joint. His leg buckled, but he didn't miss a beat, instead tumbling and taking V with him down to the ground. Parts of his leg tore out, but he wasted no motion, smashing V's head into the vinyl flooring. She twitched, then lay still, stunned. Who are you? How are you using Imagomancy?
You should know, Evan Wexler. I taught it to you.
No, it can't be. You're
Dead?
Michael. This body.
Powerful, isn't it?
The tattoos. Kind Eric went missing. He had an Inkblade tat. I take it he's dead?
As dead as the two of you are about to be. Go ahead, ready your Inkblade, Wexler. I've been waiting a long time for this. The lady will be pleased.
The 100-Handed is a Madhouse radio production. Created and written by Tom Trest. Directed by Brooke Pillafont. Theme music by Ian Flores. Sound design by Tom Trest. Featuring the voice of Gage Richter as Evan Wexler, Brooke Pillafont as V, Deanna Lalich as Lily Thomas, Stephen Cruiser as Michael Washington, Cynthia Cruiser as Catherine, Dana Williams as Vasquez, and Cynthia Cruiser as Solomon. Upset that your favorite gargoyle-run stoner shop got smashed up? Protest at 100handed. Yep, that's 100handed.com.